When you graduate from high school, everyone tells you as you're getting ready to go to college, as you're getting ready to go to 4 years more of school, they all say the same thing. College is going to be the best 4 years of your life. Those 4 years are the best of your life. Is that true? Today, let's talk about the 5 things that I miss most about being in college in the United States. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English on Autopilot. And today I was feeling a little nostalgic. Nostalgic just means that you're looking back on the past and you wish you could relive some things, you wish you could experience them again. It's not a very positive feeling, nostalgia. It's something that can be almost a little painful on the inside because you're longing, you're wanting something that you can never have again because it's in the past. Now, I love my life now. I think right now I'm living even better than when I was in college. But there are a few things that I like to look back on, and there's some things that I realize that I really do miss. And today I want to talk about just that, the 5 things that I miss the most from college. So we'll start from what I miss the least to what I miss the most. Let's get to it. Okay, starting at number 5 on the list. What I miss, what I miss is the social aspect. Now let's take school and set it aside. We'll put it aside, right? I miss the social part of it. Of course, college, if you've seen movies about anything college related in the United States, what's the one thing that you're going to see? Of course, the parties. And while the parties were great and a lot of fun, and of course I lived in Las Vegas, which is a city well known for its nightlife, that's not what I really mean about the social aspect. Sure, it was fun, but it wasn't my favorite thing. The social aspect comes with the community that you're in. For example, being on the swim team, and every day I saw my friends for hours. We were together. Of course, we were training in the water or in the weight room, but also we spent time together outside. And if there was an event in the city, I didn't go alone. I went with my friends from the swim team. And that community aspect, right? You didn't have anything to do on a Saturday afternoon and you go to one of your friends' houses. You go to their house and you enjoy, right? You just hang out. Maybe you watch a game that's on TV, whether it's football, basketball, whatever. Or maybe you guys just hang out and talk and listen to music. There's something about that that I do miss, but maybe I miss the people more than the actual community aspect. I don't know. It's a good question though. Now, there was also a lot of events on campus that were a lot of fun, right? The school would organize events on campus with all the buildings where all the classrooms are, and it was quite cool. For example, UNLV hosted one of the presidential debates of 2016, where it was Donald Trump debating Hillary Clinton. It was very difficult to get tickets. I entered the lottery where they picked a few lucky students, but they didn't pick me. However, all the major news companies, Fox News, NBC, ABC, all of those giant companies set up stages around campus and had talks with different political analysis. Um, with political analyzers, people that would analyze what's happening right now with the debates, with the presidential race, and it was super interesting. And it was all free. You could go, you could sit in the crowd. I think I was interviewed a few times for smaller news stations. It was incredible. It was an amazing, amazing experience. And I miss things like that sometimes because really, that I will admit was a once in a lifetime type of opportunity. And it was super, super enriching. It was an amazing experience that I won't forget. Also, on campus as a student, there's a lot of cultural things. Coming in at number 4 on the list is the cultural aspects. Now, first off, UNLV, while I was there, was ranked the third most diverse campus across the United States. Students from all over the world went to UNLV, went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So many different countries were represented, which means there was a lot of different cultures on campus. Now, a lot of those students focused on different arts, and so there were expositions to go to about history, about different cultures, personal family stories told through pictures, and different types of artwork, films, things like that. There were also plays that were put on by the drama department, and very, very good plays. Students that were very talented performing plays such as Shakespeare, right? Some of the most classic, amazing plays you could see on campus, and the price was very cheap, as well as concerts, classical music, jazz, all different types of music that were again orchestrated and played by students. And yet the level was very, very high. Also, they organized concerts from professional music artists at the campus, and as a student, the entrance was much cheaper. The price of the ticket was much more affordable than a regular concert, right? And then on top of that, the art galleries. A lot of students that focused on painting or photography or sculptures, right? Sculpting. It was excellent. The cultural aspect was fantastic. When I went back for my second degree, I studied English literature. And because of that, I was able to go to different poetry readings and watch professional, well known poets perform. And it was amazing, incredible. And so the readings that I went to were my favorite. However, I also really enjoyed the concerts, plays, and all those things, but the readings were at the top for me. Coming in at number three, and this might be a little surprising, are the classes. Now, one thing about me is I like to learn. I love to learn, and I don't want to ever stop learning. And in college, it's a really unique opportunity to learn compared to high school before. Because in high school, you have to study all the base subjects, right? You have to have math class, you have to have history and social studies, you need to have sciences, you need to have English, you need to have those subjects 100%, right? You can't escape it. However, when you go to college, you get to pick. You get to pick your major. Your major is the subject that you are going to focus on for your degree. For example, my first degree that I got is in political science. And within political science, I had a lot of freedom to choose. I focused on different topics within political science, such as international relations, where I studied how countries interacted with each other. And then another thing that I really loved was political theory, which was studying basically the philosophy behind politics, all the way from, right, in ancient Greece, studying Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, to the modern day. It was really one of my favorite subjects and something that I could choose. Whereas someone else studying political science wouldn't have to choose it. Same thing when I minored in philosophy, I got to choose the branches of philosophy that interested me the most, and I was able to take classes focusing on them. Now, when you pick a major, you will have certain classes you must take at the beginning, right? You have to take the intro classes to understand the subject as a whole. And then going into maybe your third or fourth year is where you get to really specify what area of it is what interests you. In English, I was able to pick the different types of literature that I study and things like that. And again, it was an amazing experience. I even focused on creative writing and had creative writing workshops as well, where I was able to write poetry, stories, things like that, and read other students' work. And we worked together to improve our writing. It was honestly some of my favorite classes. I'm going to make a video going into some of my favorite classes, but coming in at number three, it really is something I miss a lot of the classes because the quality of the material was excellent, and every day I had the opportunity to learn a lot. Coming in at number four, now we're getting close to the top, is a building. I miss a very specific building on campus. And if I could, I would be there right now. Just because, one, it was a building that I spent a lot of time in. And two, the architecture, the way it's built, is very unique compared to other buildings like it. That building, of course, is the library. The Lead Library, that's the name of the library on campus at UNLV, is unique. Here's a picture of it. As you can see, it's giant. It's huge. There's 5 floors. And one side of the library is full of windows where you can see the Las Vegas Strip with all the casinos, the giant hotels and architecture, and all the way across the desert. It is absolutely incredible. I always tried to get a table either on the 5th floor or on the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor was where I went when I needed to focus, really focus, because it was a silent floor. No talking allowed at all. No food, no nothing, right? When you're on that floor, it is to study. It is to focus 100%. You didn't even need headphones to focus because it was so quiet. And there was something about that atmosphere that helped me a lot. Now, the 5th floor, you were allowed to speak. Of course, it's a library, so nothing too crazy. But if you needed to do group projects or study with other people in your class, it was excellent because one, you had a great view, and two, again, it's just a nice atmosphere to be surrounded by the books. It makes you feel more studious. Also, the Lead Library has a gigantic archive full of different studies. And it's not just from UNLV. Universities from all over the Western United States send their studies to UNLV to be stored because the Lead Library has a room that is absolutely fireproof. Now, if a fire were to start in another part of the building, that room would immediately lock itself down. And on top of that, would suck all the air out of the room, meaning if you were in there as a person, you wouldn't make it out alive. However, all the studies would, and I guess they decided that was more important. But humans weren't allowed in that room. Obviously not. They had a robot that would go, and it was like had a giant crane to move up and down, and 2 pinchers to go in and grab studies, bring them down, and deliver them through a door. So no human would be harmed, don't worry. But it was a very technologically advanced library, and it was a very great resource for all the students. I also like during finals week, the week where you're taking your last exams of the trimester, where they're testing you, or on the semester. UNLV is the semester system, the fall and then the spring semester. And they test you on all your knowledge of the entire semester. It's very difficult. Normally, finals are the most difficult exam, but they would bring puppies, babies, right? Dogs as babies or puppies. They would bring the puppies to the library for you to pet and relax as a little bit of therapy. I also really liked that week. And of course, there was a coffee shop in the library. So if you needed a little boost, a little energy, some food or caffeine from coffee or something like that, you could always go down to the coffee shop. And now the number one thing I missed the most from college are the professors. I know it's a little weird, it's a little surprising, but the professors at the university level have a love for the subject that they teach that is infectious. You feel how much they love their subject, And honestly, a lot of the times it made me love the subject even more. Feeling their energy and how excited they were to teach us about their subject made me more attentive in class, made me pay attention because you could see the knowledge that they had about their certain area, and it was such an opportunity to learn, really. And I had a lot of great relationships with professors. It's not like high school. There were professors that I would be able to go to their office and we would be able to talk for an hour about a certain subject or a certain book that we are reading or a certain topic that we're covering in class. College is the opportunity really to learn, but it's up to you. The difference is in college, it's how much you get out of it. You can go to class, barely do the work, no problem. But if it's something you really like, if it's something you really care about, a subject that really motivates you, you can spend time with the professors. They have time set aside just for the students to go visit them outside of class. Every professor does. And if you really want to, they're willing to. I had professors that invited me to events for English and political science and things like that, where they brought me into the community as well. And it's really incredible when you have a great professor. Of course, not all of them are amazing. I had a few professors that I didn't get along with, a few professors that made my life a little difficult, shall we say, but the great ones really stand out. And so that is why the number one thing I miss the most are the professors, the people that if I had a question I could go to, and they had such a wealth of knowledge of the subject that they were able to explain it in a way. One of my absolute favorite professors was teaching a subject just on the English poet John Milton, who wrote the book Paradise Lost. I have it here in Spanish, but Paradise Lost is, well, quite complex because of how long ago it was written and the subject matter itself. And it's a poem, it's a giant poem. And yet he made Milton feel so accessible, even though it was a difficult subject. His lectures opened up Milton's world to all of us, and it felt as if we were reading a book written today. So the professors were, if you had a great professor, it made a huge difference in your class. And it's a reason why Milton is one of my favorite authors ever that I've ever read because of that professor. I know you might not have expected my 5 things I missed the most from college, but it's the honest truth. For me, college was an amazing well, a little longer because I went back for a second degree. But those years of college, I loved. I loved every bit about it, even the difficult times, exams, finals, early morning classes. I loved it. And so I think for me, I'm not going to say it was the best 4 years of my life, but it was some great years. It was some great years. Put in the comments below about your experience. If you've gone to college in another country than the United States, what are your favorite things about it? And if you've graduated like I have, what were your favorite things about it? Would you consider going to college in the United States? Let me know. If you like this video, please go ahead, put a big thumbs up below, subscribe so you don't miss more of the videos coming out. If you can, donate a little bit to the project. The links are down below in the description in every video. All right, everyone, have a great day, great week, great weekend, whenever you're watching this video, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye.